All right. This is not a fun video. um I've been trying to wait before making any kind of statement or response about all of the kerfuffle surrounding the OGL changes. And even though at this point it seems that WotC is going to scale back and they're like, oh, we're going to listen to the players and they're gonna this can be viewed as a win. um I don't really know if it matters a whole lot because Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast have kind of revealed um what the community means to them and what the player base means to them, and I don't know if they can repair all the goodwill that has been lost. um and it's very concerning, especially since these proposed changes come only not even an entire month after they made statements regarding the monetization of their properties in the future and how D&D was ripe for more monetization. And now it's clear um, how they intend to do that monetization. So what does that mean for us? It's a very difficult place because um, Wizards of the Coast is a sponsor of the community. They have helped us in the past and contributed to our events. Um, Same thing with D&D Beyond, who's always been more than generous with their products and with allowing us to share our content on a larger scale. Um, so whereas and I would like to say, um, I feel really badly for the people at D&D Beyond because just a few short months ago, D&D Beyond was a company independent of Wizards of the Coast. And all of these people that had worked there previously are now Wizards of the Coast employees, and Wizards of the Coast is making some phenomenally stupid decisions. And I feel really bad for all the people that are just kind of stuck in that position. Um, so I would encourage everyone, definitely voice your displeasure online. Let the company know how unhappy you are with these choices, but you should never, direct that vitriol at the individuals, at the employees, because this is not them. And those of you in the AL community, this is unfortunately a familiar song and dance at this point because the way that Wizards of the Coast has handled their organized play system over the past couple years has been a clear indicator of their motives and where they as a company are just trying to go. Um, so what does that mean for us? That's where we keep going. Um, well, currently, I don't think it's going to change a whole lot. Um, I know a lot of people were calling for a boycott to end their D&D subscription and to show uh, that we are unhappy with Wizard of the Coast. And as much as I would say that I would participate in such a boycott, sad fact of the matter is I subscribe annually and I renew in December. So right when all of these things were kind of coming to light, we're already paid up for the next year. So what I will say is, um, we're gonna continue with our VIP content share until next December at the very least. And then that gives us an entire year to kind of evaluate where D&D is, what WotC does. Because even though this statement from them says that they're scaling back, and I don't really believe that. I think that this is just okay. We got a negative backlash. We're gonna walk it back a little bit, and we're gonna try something else down the road because we can see what their priority is, and it's monetizing us in any way that they can. They have said as much in their shareholder review in December. Um, so that's where that is. Something we're gonna do in the interim um, is we're going to reevaluate the VIP rewards, um, just because again, there's no guarantee that we will continue using D&D Beyond as a service or promoting it as a service. Um, that's all going to be determined over the course of the next couple weeks or months as that subscription winds down. Um, so I'd like to try and find some alternatives for things that can help people be engaged, um, in a way to reward people that want to contribute to our community. As far as our community goes, um, many of you may not know this, but originally we were DWB D and D. And then after all of the difficulties within the Adventures League and how it was being mismanaged and how Wizard of the Coast was kind of interfering and making things more difficult for organized play. Um, at that time, which is now several years ago, we decided to kind of pull back from Dungeons and Dragons and try to broaden our horizons to more systems of organized play. That was our unhappiness with Wizard of the Coast and the Adventurers League is what prompted the West Marches to be created and us to really explore that as a different avenue. Um, we also started a push to branch into other tabletop games. Nitsuji really led the charge with Paizo. I know Chuz brought Shadowrun up to speed and was doing a lot of work there. And then again, a lot of work from Nitsuji because he's amazing. But then there's also like the New Worlds RPG weekend, and as Dungeons and Dragons becomes um, kind of a more difficult place, I'd like to continue to do that. Um, I don't really know how to do that because I am familiar with only a handful of systems outside of D&D. So again, I'll be looking to the community for suggestions, for feedback, um, and I'm going to try and be much more open to providing resources so that we can explore those other avenues of play and allow them to be as successful as D&D has been in our community. Um, so we'll just have to see. As far as in the community goes, I do want to say that this doesn't mean I'm not going to play Dungeons and Dragons. It doesn't mean that we as a Discord community, as a Twitch community, are not going to play Dungeons and Dragons. Like the game is in itself still a great game, one that I have a lot of love for. Um, I think it means it's time to start focusing somewhere else. Our Sunday stream game is still very early in its lifespan, and we'll be playing that for quite some time. Our Saturday game, however, is going to be wrapping up very shortly, and we already have our next game kind of planned and prepared, and I don't want to switch that so early, especially because I'm actually really looking forward to it. Really excited about what Saturday has to bring. But the next campaign is a shorter one, and I think after it's finished, we're just going to start shifting the focus over the next couple months, um, away from D&D, even as our promoted and broadcasted activities. Um, Again, still not a lot of this stuff is still very recent, and it's not really clear how to proceed. And I'm trying to just kind of, view all of the opinions. Like I've read the discussions that you guys have put in the Discord, even though I haven't weighed in before now. Um, I have been viewing what you have to say, and it's still just really fresh and still developing. So I'm not real sure. I don't have a whole lot of answers right now, but I do know that it sucks that once again capitalism is the true villain of Dungeons and Dragons, and this is not a system that I personally want to support, that as a community want to support. So that's kind of it. We'll take a look at things and we'll try to scale back and either start expanding into third party content for Dungeons and Dragons materials, or we'll start playing more of other game systems at all. So I don't know. That's where I'm at right now. Um, thank thank you all for taking the time to spend it with us here in the community. I know it's kind of scary when people are mucking with our beloved hobby, but it'll be okay. We'll be okay.